Welcome to Recovery Inspired Hope. I'm very excited today. I have my friend Shauna with us who's going to tell us her story of the crazy life of addiction and her story of hope and strength for overcoming. So, Shauna, say what's up to everybody.
Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's having a good night.
Let's talk about addiction. In the early stages, what was it like?
In the early stages, it was fun. I liked it. I loved the way it made me feel. I was just happy, could get everything done, could, stay up for days, get everything taken care of. I started when I lost my husband, and I lost my husband to suicide. We weren't addicts together. He was in the military. He wasn't an addict. I, on the other hand, was taking pills and didn't realize I was an addict at that time. And he had hung himself.
You were taking prescribed pills?
Yes.
Mm.
But I was running out of them. And then my mom would send me some through the mail because she took the same things. And, I just grew up with that in my life. I grew up with, at 14, her handing me a Valium because my anxiety was so bad.
So you kind of grew up like with addiction kind of being normalized. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't really addiction. It was just kind of like, this is the way that life is. So,
Right.
so you married your husband who was in the military.
Right.
And he had no idea about that you were having any problems or running out or anything like that.
No, he just thought I was taking my normal prescribed dose.
Unfortunately committed suicide.
Yes.
So what happened?
I had went to a girlfriend's house and to update my resume. And he had never threatened suicide. He had never, never, nothing, no clues whatsoever. And he called me and asked me when I'd be back home. And I said, I'm getting ready to leave. I'm just waiting for these to print out and then I'll be home. And he said, okay, I'm sorry if I've ever done anything to hurt you. I love you. And he hung up, which wasn't real out of the ordinary, except for I'm sorry if I've ever done anything to hurt you. That was kind of out of the ordinary. But so I went home, and when I pulled in the driveway, I could hear our stereo system going. And so I walk in the house and I'm yelling for him and I'm looking for him and I can't find him. And then I think of the garage, and I opened the door from the inside our house to the garage, and there he was right in front of my face. And I lost it. I don't know what happened after that.
Did he have any reason for it at all? Did you know? Did he leave you?
He didn't leave a note.
Wow. So just out of the blue, it seemed like, wow. So that it so totally caught you off guard. I mean,
Yes, totally off guard. We had went to breakfast at the IHOP that morning. It was on a Sunday. It was just, we had a normal day. And then I went to my friend's house and all that happened.
wow.
It was so traumatic. I still have severe PTSD from it. After that, I moved back home to Illinois, where I'm from. And that's when I got involved with meth. And that was around 1999.
So this is in your hometown, like where your
Yeah.
family's from? Okay.
Yes.
Where you grew up, where drugs were pretty normal, right?
Right. I mean, I was cheerleader, homecoming queen, all that. And, is just, have a drink at a party or, maybe take a pill here or there. As I did meth, I knew that I wanted meth every day. I was like, I love this. I want it every day.
Mm.
And So that's what I started doing. And with my husband passing, I got a, a lump sum of money. And then I also receive a widow's pension from the military. So that supplied my drug habit.
Wow.
And I
Perfect
would
storm.
I would get all that money and rent a hotel room for a week and spend the rest on dope. Just circle real fast.
So tell me about the kind of people that you were hanging out with during your meth use.
Oh, when you talk about the demonic stuff, it just, we all hung out at this hotel, Holiday Inn, and it was like there was people in like every room on the top of the hotel going around. Everybody was doing meth. And so you would just kind of bounce. It was like a big party. And this went on for a couple of years at least. And so I would just keep staying at this same hotel. And everybody just, that's what we did.
So did you get involved in a lot of different crime and things like that?
Not so much then. My first arrest was in 2004, and I had been up for I don't know how long, and I was in my car, stopped to put on makeup, and I was pulled up at the bread store. And the next thing I know, I have cops banging on my window, and I have everything laying in my lap.
Mm.
So
So
I
how
didn't
long?
have any meth, but I had my bowl and everything laying in my lap. And so they gave me, took me to jail, gave me charges for paraphernalia, and then I got put on probation.
So did that help you to kind of get straight?
No, no, not at all. I just acted like it didn't even happen and just kept on going. And that's not me. That's not normally me. I wouldn't do something like that. And then the next run in I had with them was in 2005. And that's when they caught me with an ounce.
Ooh, that's big boy stuff.
Yeah. And that's because because I had to have it. I don't even know how much a day have it.
So you got caught with that, and did you go to prison?
I didn't go to my dog. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So you were talking about how you got caught with an ounce of meth.
Yes. So I got caught with an ounce of meth, made the front page of the newspaper, of course, zero tolerance. I think I was 34 or 34 at the time, I think. No, that's not right. But anyways, I don't know how old I was, but I had the ounce of meth. So they took me to jail. I was in jail for 4 months. When I got there, I found out I was pregnant. And
Wow.
I thought, okay, I'll stop. Maybe this all happened for a reason and I'll stop. And that was my first try at recovery. And I got out and I was only sober for a couple months, and it just, I never, we never think we're going to be that way. I was an IV user. I never thought I'd ever be an IV user. I never thought, you know, I never thought I'd get in any trouble with it. I thought I had it under control, that I was, just using it to, at that time, I had my daughter. I was just using it normal, not going out and being crazy, staying home. But it didn't happen that way. But they sent me to a rehab in Phoenix, Arizona, and the Calvary Center. And I did real good there. And then once I got back home, I still started using again because I kept going around the same people.
what happened that finally brought you to the place where you were like, this is it, I've got to quit?
Okay, I had uh I had been up doing meth, and I think it was bath salt is what it was. It was bath salt. And I did a shot of it, and I had been up for days, and I started hallucinating, and I started seeing people outside of my window of my hotel room, and I thought people were after me to kill me. I had a psychotic break. And I mean, they were straight up look like demons. Like I've heard Jens talk about. I mean, just with the scary faces, and I mean, it was so real. It was so real. And I slapped a cop, but I was fighting for my life because I even thought the cops were trying to kill me.
Mhm.
And so I slapped one, and then they said I slapped the owner of the hotel. And so they arrested me for aggravated battery against a police officer. And luckily, the hotel owner didn't press charges. They took me in. I didn't come out of it, Jamie, for a week. I was in that state of psychosis for a week. They had me in a holding cell on like sick bay, and I I didn't know who I was. When I came to, I didn't know where I was or who I was at first. It was so scary. I remember calling my mom and her being in tears because she thought that I would never come out of it because I didn't know who I was or what was going on.
It's a very scary thing when you get to that place of not knowing what's real, what's not real. And then, the spiritual side of things when you do meth is just crazy because it's like the spiritual realm is unveiled and you can see the demons and the devils, and you think, oh my goodness, like, have they been here this whole time and now I can just see them? I mean, it is terrifying.
It is terrifying. And I remember why I was sitting in jail because my mom wouldn't get me out because the second time I'd got in trouble. And I don't blame her, but it was so good for me. I even got saved in that jail because that's when I found Jesus, and I knew he was my savior, and that I had been put in jail for that reason because I was just out of my mind. And uh, I could see him when I was in the holding cell telling me to get up, drink water, because they don't come and make sure that you're drinking water and that you're eating, and stuff like that. So that's on you when you're in there by yourself. I hadn't been put in population yet. I was still in the sick bay unit.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Jesus put a 911 call on you.
Yes, he did. He told me to set my butt down, and then I went in front of the judge, and the judge told me that I was sitting for 30 days, and then I would talk after that. Which my grandfather was our U.S. state senator back in 1971. And so I know a lot of, like, I knew the state's attorney, I knew the police, I knew, you know what I mean? They all knew who I was and I knew who they were. But looking back on it now, it's just really sad. But I'm so glad that I found God in that jail. And I found this book when I was in there, and it's called Steps to Christ by Sherry Peters, and it is amazing. It's the 12 steps, I say, as God sees them. Every step has a scripture to go with it. And I really like it. I like it a lot because I didn't feel comfortable in AA or NA because after I got out of jail that time, I went on Suboxone, and I was on Suboxone for a long time. But yeah, I was still using too, I was going back and forth, back and forth. And luckily, my doctor, he was really good and he worked with me. Like the third time I came up dirty, he said, "You got to go to Gateway. You know, I need you to go to Gateway if you're going to do this program, which is a recovery place."
Mhm.
And so I went there and I did that.
That's really cool though that you had a, a doctor that was working with you and stuff. And I know a lot of people who, are on Suboxone and who are doing amazing. And I truly hope that one day there can be a bridge, between the AA and NA community and the medication assisted treatment community, because
Right.
medication assisted treatment is recovery. Everybody has their own pathway, and nobody should be discluded because we don't do it one way or the other, right?
Right, right. I totally believe that way. I'm for any method of getting sober and being in recovery, because recovery is awesome. I have a daughter. She just turned 18, but I gave her to my mom when I started getting really bad. And I I didn't give her to my mom. I asked my mom to watch her while I got my life together.
Hmm.
And so I was out of her life for quite a few years. And then I've had her back since she was 12.
Awesome. Awesome.
I got her back. I got Cat too. And I got her back, and I got a car, and I got a trailer, and I just was doing the right thing. And I was working with Take Action Today, which is a recovery, also a recovery. Like, we help people that are homeless and that are in recovery.
Awesome. That's
I
awesome.
was
So you're
working
giving
for
back.
them as a peer recovery specialist, and I was working for them, but now I've moved too far away. So I'm looking for a new job.
Well, that's awesome though that you were giving back. And, that's for me, I believe that service is definitely my love language and giving back. And so that's why
Mine too.
yes.
I miss it so much. I am so lost without it.
So how do you cope today with, still having like the PTSD and things like that?
Yeah, and I see my doctor still. I'm still on Suboxone, and I see him, and then I see a therapist, which is a recovery specialist that works at my doctor's office. So every time I go see my doctor, I see my therapist. And I've been doing that for, oh gosh, I'm wanting to say 2016. But I say my sober date is 2019, April 3rd, because that's when I stopped doing meth and everything else. And I didn't touch it again after that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're coming up on what? Going to be coming up on 4 years?
Yes, yes. I can't believe it. I really can't. And my daughter, she's so proud of me. And I love that because I love her so much.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love stories of family restoration, and it sounds like you're really doing everything that you can to be well in your recovery journey, and that's what it's all about is staying well, getting well and staying well, and just striving to, do the right thing and to be better than you were. And we're all on this journey together. So thank you so much, Shauna, for sharing and for your bravery and boldness. And I'm super proud of you. And just thank you so much for being willing to come and share these details of your life with us.
No, I really appreciate you letting me share. It helps me, and I hope it helps somebody else out there. And if anybody ever has any questions, I mean, they can message me, I'll answer them or anything else.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for everyone for watching Recovery Inspired Hope. Make sure you subscribe to Jamie Tall on YouTube, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.